A worldwide study on bottled water revealed the following. Those who drink bottled water die of cancer much more often than those who never had bottled water even one time. Now that's a true statement. It sounds a little crazy, but I'm telling you the actual truth here. This is the truth. What should be concluded from this? Should we get rid of bottled water? Bottled water causes cancer. No, bottled water does not. There's no evidence that bottled water causes cancer. This is association is not the same as causation. That's what's going on here. Association is not the same as causation. Just because bottled water is connected with cancer doesn't mean it's bottled water is causing it. So what's going on here? What's going on here? If you take the world and you take those who've had bottled water. Whoops, not doing that too well. Those who have had bottled water versus those that have never, not even once, never had bottled water. What you find is the people that are over here that have never had bottled water, they're usually malnourished. They're malnourished. They're impoverished. They usually live in countries or situations where they don't get regular and good food. They've never even had bottled water even once in their life. So what does that mean? So what does that do with cancer? So they usually die young of malnutrition. And so they do not even have a chance of dying of cancer, which usually happens to older people. Of course, some younger folks get cancer, but usually it's something that you have to live older to get. So you see, that's what's going on. It's basically where you live, the conditions of your life that are causing both of these things. You see, bottled water is not causing cancer. What's causing them both is where you live. If you live in a country that is generally affluent, industrialized, then you've probably had bottled water at least once in your life. You'll probably not die of malnutrition from a young age. You'll live older and you'll have a chance of getting cancer. Whereas if you live in a country where you've never had bottled water, probably you are missing a lot of other basic necessities of life. Your nutrition is not good. You're in an impoverished country, and you probably don't have good medical care either, and you'll probably die young, so you don't even have a chance of getting cancer. You see, bottled water is not causing cancer. Where you live is what's called the confounding variable. It's the confounding. It's also called the lurking variable. It's what's hiding, lurking, confounding, confusing the whole situation and making it look like bottled water causes cancer, but it really doesn't. So the whole point is just because two things are associated doesn't mean one's causing the other. You cannot conclude that. You got to remember that phrase. Association is not the same as causation. Well, how do you know when something is causing something? For that, you've got to do an experiment. You've got to do a clinical study where you have a control group and a treatment group, where you give one group the drug or the whatever you're testing, the bottled water, and the other group doesn't get the bottled water. 100 random people, 50 assigned to this group, 50 to that group, 50 get the bottled water, 50 don't. Then you watch them for the rest of your life, their lives, and see if more in the, everything else is the same. They're just random 50 and 50 people. The only difference between them would be which one's got the bottled water or didn't. Then if there was a difference in outcome for cancer, then we could determine, well, the only difference between these 50 and those 50 is one group got bottled water, the other didn't. And if one got cancer a lot more, then then we could start concluding that maybe the water's causing cancer. That's the only way to conclude causation, is two groups, an experiment, a clinical study, control group, and treatment.